Hi, I'm Liron Cohen.
And I'm Mimi Torchin.
And you're listening to Lady Parts TV, the podcast.
Whee!
Hello.
Greetings and salutations.
Thank you for getting back after our tiny hiatus. We are happy to be here. It's snowy.
We're happy to be anywhere.
It's pretty. We're happy to be alive. Yes. And we are happy about our stats. We tallied 29 primetime shows, which is already good because it means that we had good shows to watch. Out of which written or co-written by women 17, 58%, and directed 12, which is 41%.
Excellent.
Not bad.
Yes, of course we got about
six of them.
six from one of our shows.
Which we will tell you about in a minute as we do. But we first have a giveaway. We love to give away good things. And it's for a new movie called The Stand-In. It is now streaming on Redbox On Demand, which is where you will get your free digital screener if you will be one of the first 5 people to email us or send us a private message on Instagram and tell us that you are interested. It is directed by Jamie Babbitt, whom you might know. She directed But I'm a Cheerleader, and she also has been involved with other very big lesbian movies. Apparently, she's a big operator. Didn't know that.
So this is not a lesbian movie.
This is not a lesbian movie. It was written by Sam Bain, and it's starring Drew Barrymore in a dual role, Holland Taylor in whatever role I will always watch her, Ellie Kemper, Andrew Reynolds, T.J. Miller, Lena Dunham even. Yeah. So the movie is about a very famous comedic star. Drew Barrymore plays her. And she has a stand-in. If you don't know what a stand-in is when you shoot movies or TV shows, oftentimes in order to block a scene, in order to light it and all that stuff, you need to have the person stand there for a long time.
And the star is not going to do that.
Exactly. So you hire usually somebody who looks,
same
generally
coloring,
same height, same build, and they stand and they do all the dirty work. And in this case, they managed to find somebody who looks so much like Drew Barrymore.
I would say exactly
alike.
Drew Barrymore.
So in the role of the stand-in plays Drew Barrymore herself as well. The star gets sent to rehab, as stars are wont to do, and instead she decides to send her stand-in so that she wouldn't have to do that either. So, except the stand-in pulls the rug out from under her and manages to kind of take over her life, I guess. So it's a comedy. It's a great cast. Jamie Babbitt, great pedigree, and we are offering you 5 free digital screeners. So,
but you can only have one.
You can only have one if you're one of the first 5 people. So email us or send us a private message on Instagram as soon as you hear this to get your free screener. This is called The Stand-In. If you are not one of the lucky 5, check it out on Redbox On Demand and see if you want to watch it on your own. Now, the show we wanted to tell you about, and it's a very exciting show. We devoured it. In the course of 2 days. It's called Total Control. 6 episodes that premiered on Sundance Now, the streaming service that belongs to Sundance, on December 17th. And I'm really happy to see Sundance Now adding more and more really exciting shows.
Great content.
Yeah. So it's co-created by Rachel Griffiths, whom you might know as an actress, another actress who is now producing her own material, which is always exciting to me. All episodes were directed by Rachel Perkins, who also directed Mystery Road, and starring the fabulous Deborah Mailman.
Deborah Mailman.
Rachel Griffiths and Celia Ireland in a much smaller role than I would have liked her to, because when you've seen her on Wentworth and you know what she's capable of, it's kind of like, why waste her on this role?
Exactly, but she
has a lot of heart.
Right, she's as usual the lovely influence, right? Yes.
Right. The show, by the way, won 3 ACTA awards for Best Series, Best Lead for Mailman, and Best Guest of Supporting for Griffiths. Well deserved. Especially Deborah Mailman.
Oh my God,
she was phenomenal.
You will recognize her. She's been in a lot of things. If you are an Aussie a fan of Aussie TV. She's been in Mystery Road. She was in Jack, I think.
Jack Irish?
I think she was in
I don't
the Jack
remember. She could have been one of the seasons. This is a political drama, so there's a lot of politics, but it's very heavy on the politics. It reminded me a little bit of was it called Secret City? Yeah. It reminded me of that, except Secret City, I felt I was more confused about what was going on with the politics. Here I was able to follow it.
It reminded me a lot of our politics in some way. All politics.
And that's pretty much
suck.
The crux of it. Politics really, really sucks. But this is it's also for the times, and there is even a reference to Black Lives Matter. And it's about
Deborah Millman. Did we say that she's Aboriginal?
She's an Indigenous woman, and she kind of becomes a hero for a minute by being kind of in the right place, or should I say the wrong place in the wrong time. And so the Prime Minister, Rachel Griffiths, decides that she's up for elections in 6 months, and her government is losing the faith.
They have a spot to fill in the Senate.
Yes, and she's quickly losing the confidence of both her government and her cabinet and the people, and so she's looking for she's looking for a stunt casting, should we say? And she asks Deborah Mailman. She offers her the senatorial spot, thinking that she would be a puppet, that she would be able, because she's not a political person, but
she's smart, and she had an agenda.
She underestimated her.
She had an agenda which had something to do with native lands and making money for her people.
Right. So they thought
it's very
they
much
would
like
her.
The indigenous people, like the first Americans here too. I mean.
Yeah, and
screwed over, their land stolen,
Exactly, and her mother was one of the stolen generation. So they're thinking, or Rachel Griffith is thinking, that she is going to be able to use her to her benefit. Little does she know, she underestimated her. And you'll root for her, for Deborah Mailman, not for Rachel Griffiths. You will root for her, and you will love her, and you will feel that she speaks for you and for everybody who is just so angry with the corruption and with the deception.
Sick of it all.
And it's it's a great series. It's
gripping,
very satisfying,
very gripping, and personal stories are very gripping. And
and then there's a secondary story that I found to be even more engrossing than the primary story, which is about mistreatment of indigenous people, kids in particular,
in detention.
Right, and
I don't mean school detention.
Juvenile detention. It was a fantastic series. I was very happy to see that it was approved for second season. Because there's so much to do. I mean, she's gonna,
Yes, I mean, it has a satisfying. First, I said, "Oh, does this mean we're not going to get, a satisfying ending?" We get a satisfying ending.
What we mean is a closure to the storyline that goes on in the first season. But there are many stories that can happen in season 2. Me. Absolutely. So, absolutely, highly recommended. It's called Total Control. And it's already, I don't think they do all the episodes at once, but it has premiered already on Sundance now, so definitely check it out.
Yes, and you will not want to miss it. Now, to just about my favorite movie of the year, not counting Ammonite, and it is not a lesbian movie.
No,
this movie,
it is not. Although
but it does have Catherine Deneuve
exactly,
and
so it
Juliette
has
Binoche in it, but they're mother and daughter.
Yeah, but any movie with Catherine Deneuve in it, I think, is of lesbian interest.
Anyway, it's called The Truth, or La Vérité, if you are in France, and it is subtitled, and it's an interesting pedigree, written and directed by Hirokazu Korida.
Hirokazu, actually.
Huh?
Hirokazu.
Oh, Hirokazu Korida, based on a short story by Ken Liu, starring the divine Catherine Deneuve, Juliette Binoche, who looks like she's been drinking from the fountain of youth. I don't know what. No, doesn't look like work. She just looks fabulous. Ethan Hawke, who was charming. Clementine Grenier is the daughter and granddaughter, so adorable. And Manon Clavel, who plays Deneuve's co-star in a movie she's making. The mother is releasing her memoirs, and so...
She's an actress.
She's a very famous actress, sort of like Catherine Deneuve. And her daughter Juliette Binoche is a screenwriter. She's married to an American actor of sorts, and
a TV actor.
A TV actor, right? But he has no illusions. He's a very nice guy and precious granddaughter, and they come to stay with her. She's going to unveil the book, and they've butt heads. I think most of their life, yes. And this book is an autobiography, which it's why it's
loosely based on her life.
La Verite, more or less La Verite. And it's hilarious because when Juliette Binoche reads the book, she's always coming in and saying, "But this did not happen." And Catherine Deneuve is sort of,
they want this. They want to read something interesting. They don't want the truth.
Exactly. Now she's sort of a little bit on the fade, although I don't think so. But anyway, and her latest role is a science fiction picture where she plays the daughter of a mother who never grows old. And actually, the movie looks terrific. I would really like to see that movie. She's wonderful. Manon Clavel, who plays her mother, is excellent and lovely.
It's all about
it's about
mother and daughter
relationships and
actor and character and relationship. That's what it's called.
And she sort of undergoes a little bit of a change, but mostly she's just this great star who sees things her way, wants things her way.
Well, and it's kind of about the competing roles in her life as an actress versus mother, and how she negotiates that or not at times. But what I love is she is so funny.
Oh, she is so droll.
Great.
She's so dry, and we just were screaming. We would just laugh. She would just do one little, just raise an eyebrow.
And it's a very good script.
Very excellent script.
Subtle.
Very nicely shot, a film within a film, which is always fun. A look at the makings of movies. I read a review who said that it was probably, what's her name?
Manohla
Dargis. But she did like the film, but that sometimes actors and directors feel that we have as much interest in what goes on behind the scenes as they do.
Well, some of us do.
But I do.
Exactly. But you're also from the industry, and we care about those things.
Anyway, see it. Now, here's the rub.
Yes. It is available on various platforms to rent, but it's still a little expensive because it's a new film. Now, what you have to take into account is that this year, because we're not going to the theater, then a lot of the movies will come out as releases, as theatrical releases, but they're coming out digitally so that they're accessible to everybody in a safe way.
Right.
So they're more expensive because
they have to make some money.
Well, and it's not that it's already had its theatrical run and now it's being released as a secondary run to all those platforms. This is the theatrical release.
Right.
So this is, I've seen it for about $15, $13, something like that. So
hang on, if you wait a while, it'll probably be less.
Probably, but if you wanted to, again, it's like I saw somebody complain that Ammonite was too expensive, but again, that was its theatrical release. So you have to take that into account.
Ammonite did have a little bit of a theatrical release, as I recall.
Very limited, but again, we don't even recommend for people to go out there into the theater. So the fact that they're releasing it doesn't mean that people should go. I think
certainly Ammonite is worth, I think, the money it costs.
Yes, and I'm so happy that they're releasing these things digitally and not making people take that risk. So I think if you can afford it, and if it's something you want to see, then do consider supporting it, giving it the full price, because otherwise, 2020 movies, there are movies that will never get another chance at being released like that. So,
I love this movie.
Yes.
I recommend, if you've got it, pay for it and see it. You'll be happy.
On the flip side, here is a movie that costs a lot of money, and I definitely would not recommend you spend the money. This is Tenet, which is, I believe, one of the biggest releases.
It was going to be one of the big film, practically, of the year. They were
Christopher Nolan.
They were keeping everything about it secret. It was one of those things that you couldn't find anything about it. They kept how it was going to be released secret, and what they did was end up releasing it to rent on various platforms for about $20.
Right, it is around $20, and you can find it on places like Amazon and stuff like that, I believe. And we watched it. It stars John David Washington, who was fabulous in BlacKkKlansman. Robert Pattinson, who was very good.
Oh, he's wonderful.
And Elizabeth Debicki, whom we adore.
It's delicious.
But I'm going to just read this this synopsis for you because this is the closest we'll ever get to understanding what happened in that movie.
Yeah, I have a couple of things to say about it, but anyway.
No, and I will say some more,
Yeah.
but I just want to... I can't even begin to describe it in my own words because I have no idea what happened in that movie. So, armed with only one word, Tenet, and fighting for the survival of the entire world, a protagonist journeys through a twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time. Now, the first 10 minutes of the movie, albeit somewhat vague, there was a point that they kind of explained a little bit of what was at the heart of the issue of this movie. And when they explained it, I thought, oh, that sounds very interesting. I am very much open to exploration of time. Not so much time traveling, but the idea that that in the universe, really, time doesn't exist.
Right, and things exist in tandem with other things. And,
exactly, alternative realities and things, alternate realities and things like that. I'm very much interested in all that stuff. So I thought, oh, this could actually be an interesting exploration of this idea. It was not. It was 2.5 hours of very fun action.
Oh, the action was super.
And the acting was great.
The acting was good.
And the special effects
were wonderful.
were fun.
Especially
and
the things that happened. They did a lot of playing film backwards, so it looked like
and
things were going
backwards
another time. Yeah,
all that was very impressive. But the two main problems I had. One, I had no idea what was going on. No idea whatsoever at any point. And I even quit the movie at some point, came in and out just to see if it was going anywhere, and I believe you ended up not knowing what it was all about, even though you watched it all the way through.
Yeah,
right?
I knew a little bit more, a tiny bit. There was something added to it. Kenneth Branagh, by the way, has a very big part in it also.
My second problem, though, was that, and this is a problem that I'm so glad I didn't actually see this in the movie theater because I would have left after the first 2 minutes. The mix was horrible. The loud was way too loud,
and it's always the action and the music,
which the movie was full of.
Yes,
and then the speaking, even when there was no other noise to compete with it, was very muffled, very low. I suppose it could be our screener or the fact that we watched it on television, but guess what? Most people will be watching this on television. They will not see it in the movie theater with a cinematic surround system.
Yeah, so let me maybe recommend that you put your, because we didn't do it, you put your sound on movie.
I still don't think it would have helped.
It might have helped.
If anything, clear voice would have helped more.
Yes, clear voice would have helped more.
But let me even recommend even more that you just don't spend the money on this. And when the time comes when it's free and you want to check it out, then put your television on clear voice.
Okay, so my 2 cents is that I mostly didn't know what was going on. I was mostly in the dark with a vague idea of what was going on, but I sort of didn't care. I kind of enjoyed it. I enjoyed the action. I enjoyed the acting. I was interested in seeing where it was going.
And then you found that it was going nowhere.
No, it sort of went somewhere. But I still didn't get it, really. But I didn't care. Now, I would have cared.
It wasn't a terrible movie.
No, it was definitely not. It was a Christopher
Nolan
Nolan movie. If you liked Inception, which we didn't.
But Inception at least had a clearer idea of what he wanted to say.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But if you're a Christopher Nolan fan, and you're a fan of action films, you'll like this film. But
if you don't care about a plot,
what's going on.
I mean, if you just want to sit there and watch people doing action fight sequences,
I have a feeling it has a very intricate plot, but not a very clear.
Exactly. So if we don't understand the plot, what's the point of having it to begin with?
Anyway, it was fun. I kind of enjoyed it. I don't think I'd want to spend $20 on it, but I enjoyed it.
So this is Tenet, in case you were wondering if you should go for it. Then you have both our sides.
Mm-hmm. All right. Here's a new movie with a mixed review called Bad Impulse, and it's available on demand December 18th.
So right now.
Oh, immediatamente. Yes. Directed by Michelle Tanner and written by Jason Chase Terrell, and starring
in the main reason to even care about it.
To watch it. Sonia Walger, Grant Bowler, Paul Sorvino.
Well, let's just make sure that Sonia Walger is the reason to watch it. The rest of them are just
Sonia Walger
other
is
cast members.
Definitely the reason to watch it. Dan Lauria has a small part in it. Sonia Walger, who is wonderful and looks delicious. I'm so sorry, that sounds so sexist. She looks very lovely and hot. Okay?
She's Sonia Walger.
She's Sonia Walger people. So something traumatic happens to the husband, and a very shady-looking guy, Paul Sorvino, all dressed in black. I don't know, would you let him in your house to sell you an ultra-futuristic security system? And I wouldn't, but he did. And they get this really very specific. They go to this very super special sci-fi looking office, and they put ankle bracelets on them that pierces their skin so they have their DNA. So only people whose DNA is registered in the system can enter the house and exit the house and work the security system. So what it's basically about is selling your soul to technology. And it's scary, but it's very interesting, and I really, really, really liked it. It's again, to me, the whole thing is really, would you buy a security system for this guy? But getting past that, it's a very exciting, kind of fun sci-fi premise that I don't think is really that far in the future, except there is a supernatural wrinkle that comes into it that I'm not sure it would have been better without. But I liked it very much. It's very scary. It's called Bad Impulse. And available now, and I think worth seeing if you like sci-fi.
And Sonia had quite a big role, right?
Sonia had a very big role. She's the wife. She's in many, many frames and has a lot to do.
Okay, now very quickly, because we ran out of time, we just want to give you a heads up for a movie that came out on Netflix December 18th, and it's Ma Rainey's Black Bottom.
Another very big film. It's Chadwick Boseman's last performance.
And Viola Davis's next Oscar nomination.
For sure. And judging by the trailer, if she's won awards for what she's won awards for, she's definitely going to win.
Well, or at least be nominated.
Yeah. No, she's going to win something.
Okay.
It was directed by the great George C. Wolfe, written by Ruben Santiago Hudson, based on the play by August Wilson. And as far as Ruben Santiago Hudson, he played opposite Viola on Broadway in a couple, I think, of August Wilson's plays. So it's very much an inside family kind of an affair. Coleman Domingo is also in it. If you are a fan of Fear the Walking Dead, you will definitely know who he is. It takes place in 1920 Chicago, and a lot of it takes place in the studio while they're waiting to record Ma Rainey's an album with Ma Rainey. It has a lot to do. Chadwick Boseman is a very ambitious trumpet player. Ma Rainey is a superstar, or about to become a superstar. They call her Ma Rainey because she's the mother of the blues. She's kind of amazing, and
she's also gay, right?
Yes, she's also gay because there will be some tension between her girlfriend and Chadwick Boseman. His interest in her, and it's you'll hear some great music. I think that it's a battle of sort of wills and ambitions, mostly between Boseman and Ma Rainey. And the performances look superb. It's kind of claustrophobic from what the trailer looked like. It's all crammed with color and sound, and a lot of it does take place, again, in small spaces. It looks very interesting, very moody, very high energy, and Viola looks very exciting to me, and Chadwick Boseman is supposed to be sensational. It's a very, very sad sort of end to a young man's career
and life. So this is Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. It's already available on Netflix, so you can watch it right now if you want, well, after you finish this. So thank you for joining us, and we will have much more to tell you very soon, so stay tuned for the next podcast episode.
Bye.
Bye.